microphone as well.
All right, well, it's 1 o'clock, so we are going to go ahead and get started. I just want to welcome everyone to this week's Lunch and Learn. We are going to be talking with our faculty and staff in our CNC machining program. I'm really excited because they are actually in the shop today, so I think this is going to be a great presentation. A couple of reminders: if you have any questions, please put that in the chat box, and we will ask those along the way. We will be recording this session, and it is also streaming live on social media. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Carrie Smith, our instructor in the CNC machining program. Carrie?
Hey everybody, I'm really glad you could be here today. We've got Lucas is over here cutting apart. I'm going to let him start it up so you can see it in just a second. But if the number one thing I want you to remember is there's a ton of jobs. There's a shortage of machinists in this area and all across the United States. And we have $27,000 in scholarship money to award. So if you don't remember anything else about the day, please remember that, okay? I'm gonna let Lucas start his machine up and you'll see a little bit of it where he's cutting some stuff out in steel. So what he's doing is he's taking a raw piece of metal and turning it into a finished part. We've got a lot of interesting parts here, and this is one of them. This actually goes into a prosthetic ankle. So this is the lower part is used to hold it while you machine it. It starts out as a solid piece of metal, but then you cut it out into something you can use. So I'm going to go back over to the computer so I can do some PowerPoints. All right, so I want to recognize Paul Riley, who's on with us, and he is a fantastic recruiter for us. And so I appreciate him being with us. And Kenneth Kane, I really appreciate you being with us. And go through this a little bit and show you these slides. So Kenneth is also a graduate of CNC machining, so he's well versed in all of this. So what is computer integrated machining? So everything you see in the world today is made of metal or it's made of something. And it starts out as an idea. And you hear these themes like makers today, maker spaces. And that's what we do. We take ideas and we turn them into something you hold into your hands. So here's some specs that the global CNC machining market is expected to be 128 billion in value and a growth rate of 5.5. The big thing is here, our guys, if they want a job the first semester, they got a job. But that's how dire it is. So people have given up on finding skilled workers ready to go, and they're taking my advice and getting them any time they can so they can train. Salary, what we're seeing normally around $15 an hour, $20 is the starting pay, so 30 to 40,000 a year. And then after they've got about a year experience, we're seeing anywhere from 40 to 50,000, and some even up to 60,000. Again, as a base salary. A lot of these guys are working overtime and getting $100,000 a year. Got a lot of local supporters. Here's just a portion of it. Ashley Furniture as well. We do things in furniture. We do things in aviation. you name it, we're in it. So everybody needs this machine. So here's some of the projects that we've done before. Again, keep in mind, this started out as an idea. It started out as a raw piece of metal. Okay. So you look here and see some different things that we've done that are really neat. Here's some of our equipment. Hopefully we'll have some of this over in Kenny's shop pretty soon. But we're getting 3 new ways in, and so we're always trying to upgrade and stay current with today's trend. Here's some more of our equipment. All of these are very relevant still today. We have our 3D printers here on the left, and then the Omax water jet, which is really neat because whatever you can draw, it'll cut. And it'll cut through 4 inches of steel. And here's our CNC machine. And again, this is made by Haas. The Gene Haas Foundation is a big supporter of ours. And they recognize the shortage of machinists in America. And again, we have $27,000 in scholarship money to award. Here's some more pieces of our equipment. This is a lathe. So there's several different ways you can do this. You could be in an associate degree program, or you could be in a diploma or certificate program that lasts a year. And, right now, one is as good as the other, just because of the dire shortage. Again, we've got on there 25,000, that's been up to 27,000. And so please tell your students about that. We can't buy equipment with that. We can't help students sell along. So your next steps is to go to get in touch with Paul, go to this link here, and you got some documentation you got to sign up for. We'll get you signed up. Paul, can you add some of this for us, Paul?
What's that, Kerry?
I just want to see if you wanted to add anything as far as the enrollment process.
No, it's pretty straightforward. Just you go to the website, you start the process, make sure you do the application on CFNC, you do your RDS, which is Residential Determination Service, do your FAFSA. You'll go through a process called Enrollment Information Session and then Orientation. It's at that point you'll talk with your advisor, and if you want to do CNC machining, your advisor will get you set up on a schedule. And it's pretty straightforward. Hey, Kerry, I'd like to, if you would share with the group, I know you've told me several stories of students in their first class that have had employers come in and hire them on the spot. I was wondering if you can share a story or two about that.
Absolutely. And we have had students that come in. I always encourage them to come into the shop and try it out before they sign up. And we've actually had employers in here during that time, and they've offered students jobs before they've even started their program. And real interesting story. And once that student got hired, they did away with second shift, and she had to look for another job, and she ended up with Siemens making $25 an hour. So really good story. Another thing that I've got here is Chris Cooper just walked in. Chris works with Ingersoll Rand. I'm gonna let him tell you a little about his job, what he did in the program, and also about Skills USA. You guys speak into this as the speaker there.
Speaking of this?
If they can't see you, they're looking at that camera.
Okay.
Speak into that.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper. I recently finished up this program with Carrie and Brad. And I actually had got hired on to Ingersoll Rand within my last 6 months of the program while I was still in high school. And at the same time, I would do Skills USA, and I went to the state competition. I finished first place there for milling and lathe, and then switched over to I got an invite to the national competition where I participated there and placed there.
So tell them what you're doing at your job now and what you're doing. This career has led you into engineering.
So at my job at Ingersoll, they started me out on a 4-axis horizontal milling machine, just doing what is known as the imprint, where we would take round bar stock and I would face off the ends, put the holes, drill the holes, tap the holes, and then put a center chamfer on both ends so that they could be chucked up and turned to the lathes and the OD grinders. And then shortly after that, I moved over to the training on the OD grinders and some of our rough turn mills. And then recently I switched over to our 4 and 5 axis aluminum dual spindle machine.
So what questions do y'all have for Chris or for the program?
Please feel free to unmute and ask your question, or if you would like to put it in the chat box, you can.
Thank you. So Joshua, I see that you're on, what high school are you in?
I'm at Davie County High School.
Great, great. So those guys are actually they've been coming over here every week doing some stuff in the machine shop. So I don't know if you've been involved with that any, but that'd be really neat to see. You have Mr. Mars there, or?
I haven't had Mr. Mars because I never got a chance to take his class, but I have. I tried to get an internship with the school right when COVID hit for a CNC program, and it didn't pan out because I couldn't get the internship started.
Well, there'll be plenty of opportunities for you. You know, Chris works at Ingersoll Rand, which is very close. You know, it's in Davie County. So there's a lot of good opportunities there. And so if we can help you out through the school, we'll be glad to help you out, and love for you to come over one day and we can meet you at the Davie campus, show you the equipment there and let you try it out, see if you like it.
I'd appreciate that.
So if you, I'm not sure if you have my email address, but right here, if you'll write that down, you shoot me an email, we'll be glad to meet with you. And we really want to make sure that everybody, this is kind of what they want to do. And so we work with them and let them try it out before we start.
Hey, Kerry, this is Paul. There is a question in the chat that says, does the program start during or after high school?
That's an excellent question, because we do have what's called the CCP program, the College and Career Promise, where high school students can take these classes for free. And so it does start during high school. We do have a high school pathway. So again, you know, we have, I can't tell you enough. I get calls every single week of employers looking for people. And I just got off the phone before this meeting with an employer. There's a severe shortage. And you know, when there's a shortage of workers, that drives the pay up. So in Chris's case, you know, he's doing CNC machining now. But your CNC machinists also make your best engineers. And that's my background. So Chris is going to be going into engineering. He's taking school for that now, and the company is supporting and working with him in that. And so he'll soon be transitioning into engineering.
Harry, there's a question to the one that was just asked, and it said, are there any classes that we should take before enrolling?
Well, you know, any shop classes that you have, any vocational classes are good. Math is good because we use practical math here, and that's what makes it fun. You can see the results of your math instead of wondering, where will I ever use this? You know, but if you get on the internet and look at Indeed or anywhere there are jobs posted and you put in CNC machining, you're going to see a ton of jobs. And a lot of them aren't even posted because they can't find people. They quit posting. So it's a tremendous job market right now for machinists. That's going to continue. One thing that did happen over time is they sent a lot of this machine work over to China, and it's just not working out. They can't do the quality. They can't do the turnaround. And so they're bringing that back home to the United States because they can't get it done in China.
Hey, Kerry, this is Paul again. I remember in earlier conversations, you mentioned that having this background is actually very helpful if you're moving to, I believe you said mechanical engineering?
That's correct, yes. Yep. And so that's exactly what Chris Cooper is doing right now. He's got out and he's taking classes at North Carolina A&T, and he's going to move into mechanical engineering. And the reason is because you know how parts are made. And so you can design parts. And number one, they can be made and they can be made more efficiently when you understand the processes. If you don't understand the processes, you're not able to design parts efficiently. So that's a big, big plus. Every mechanical engineer should go through this program. And there is machining in every mechanical engineering program in the United States. It's just you need more of that before you get into it. What other questions do we have? So you can see Lucas's machine running over there, and what today's manufacturing is about is you see clean, you see new machines. So this isn't a dark, dingy, unsafe area. This is advanced tooling. In our lab, we have over $1 million worth of equipment, and you're trained to run that safely. So today's manufacturing is way different from what it used to be.
Gary, we have one more question. For someone who is wanting to do this program, what kind of work ethic, personal characteristics, those kind of things do you recommend? What things do they need to be good at? You know, things like that.
So the biggest thing is to get with us and email us and let you see it up close. Bring your parents, bring your friends, and see if there's a genuine interest and see if there's a connection. The one thing that you'll need in every job, in every career, is something called soft skills. You know, you've got to show employers that you're reliable. You're going to be at work. You're going to work while you're there. You're not going to play on your phone. But your attendance has got to be good. You've got to be there on time and ready to work. And that's the number one problem that employers are having, is they can't find people with the soft skills. So Chris can tell you, he sees that at Ingersoll Rand every day. So the thing you can do as a candidate to stand out is any job that you have prior to and school is you have good attendance and you do your work. You know, it sounds simple, but that's a must-have in these days. And if you look up on the internet, soft skills, and learn a little bit more about those, you'll see how critical that is in today's workplace.
Hey, Kerry, this is Paul again. Could you close out your PowerPoint so we actually can see full screen what's going on the CNC machine?
Yeah. It's showing up now, Paul?
Yeah,
it's going up.
you're good.
Okay, so what Lucas is doing, we're aligned with the National Institute for Metalworking Skills. And he's doing a NIM certification part. And so when he gets that, that's another thing that you do with this program is you earn industry credentials that look great on your resume. So when he makes his part and it passes 100%, he takes a written test, and then he's certified on the CNC mill. And that really gives you a leg up in the competition when you're hunting for jobs. I'm going to get Chris back, pull him in and tell him a little bit about what they make at Ingersoll and what he does normally in his day at Ingersoll.
So at Ingersoll, the major focus for that plant is to create industrial size air compressors. We do 60% of our stuff is machining and the other 40% is assembly. And these compressors, when I say industrial size, they're, some of them have to be carried on by a large tractor trailer truck or transfer truck to even move them, up to probably 20,000 pounds per unit. So the parts that I machine are anywhere from the size of my hand to, 6 feet long. Most of which is done on a lathe, and then some of the other work is done with a mill or an OD grinder or a flute grinder is mainly what we do there. And then it gets shipped upstairs to the next plant and then assembled by our assembly teams and then shipped off to the customer.
Any questions for Chris or me or anyone? Be glad to help. And if you don't have any now, please take my email down and reach out to us. And we would love to talk to you and send you some more information about the program.
If there are no other questions, like Carrie said, please feel free to email him or myself, and I will put my email in the chat box as well. But please email us. But if you do not have any other questions, you are feel free to get off at any point. We will stay on until about 1:30 in case anyone does have any questions or you want to keep watching the machine or anything like that. So, but we really appreciate you joining today.
Really do. Thanks a lot.
Hey, Carrie, this is Kane. How you doing?
Hey, Kenneth, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Can I speak with you